Okay, we're on a CS22, which is very similar to a CS23. We're in the bow here. There's plenty of storage. All these compartments open for storage. As you can see, they have cylinder lists to hold them up. Up front will be your anchor. There's a loop inside. Don't count on that to carry your load of the rope. When you anchor, you take the excess rope out and tie it to one of the front cleats. Okay, while we're up in the bow, let me just show you the one real important feature here. When you close the, open the windshield, when you walk through, you have a latch. It has to be latched properly when you're underway. Okay, and then when you're moving, you remove if you like to close it, you remove the pin, bring the windshield over, and secure it in the locked position. Okay? While we're here, we have the bifold door, which is very simple. You take both barrel bolts off, bring it to this position, and lock both barrel bolts, one in the wall and one in the floor. When they are at operate, when it's either open or closed, make sure to insert the barrel all the way and lock it so it doesn't open on either way. While we're here up front, I should say moving back, just a standard glove box, nothing too fancy about that, but up in here, inside this compartment, is a USB port and also 12-volt plug. You can plug in your accessories, phones, music, etc. On the driver's side, starboard side, our stereo, our horn, which is here, and the switching for all the items. Now you'll notice a lot of times these switches may say accessory, or docking lights, for example, or platform lights. That dash panel is designed to fit a multitude of different models, which may have those options, but they may not be on this particular boat, so don't be concerned if you turn it on and something doesn't function. The main function, the things that you have to have working, of course, are navigation lights, your bilge pump, your blower, and this also has interior lights as well. Okay. Here you have a tilt wheel. Set it to any position you like. Okay. And then you have full instrumentation. Now, I'm going to power this up in just a moment. So if you follow me back here, and we flip this compartment open, we'll see a battery switch inside here. Okay. Along with a fire extinguisher, but your switch is right now in the off position. This 90 degrees, we'll put it in the on position, and a little bit turned over to the more would be a yellow mark, which is the emergency position. The normal operating is in the on, and at the end of the day or when you're done using the boat, you shut it to the off, which is straight up. In addition, down here you'll notice that there's breaker panel here. They're marked and what they go to. Again, these may be several here that are extras because of the fact that you don't have the options on this particular model. There's an audible alarm. This particular engine is a Mercruiser. It's got of course, your shifters here, your trim is here, which raises and lowers the outdrive. It also has an ignition cutoff switch here, so that when that's in place, if you need to have that attached to your persons, when you fall overboard or lose control, the engine will shut off. Okay. I just wanted to turn the key on and show you the functions of these gauges. This is a speedometer. This is a tach, which is your RPMs. And in the bottom window, you can scroll through different functions here. Okay, your fuel, your trim gauge, your depth finder, etc., your air temperature, and the same with this fuel, trim. You can set the two different. For example, you could put on this one you could put your depth, and then maybe on the other one you could put your maybe your air temperature or water temperature. Okay, because you do already have other gauges that give you your trim, your volts, your engine temp, and your fuel. So all these are here, which you may not have to duplicate here. So I would probably consider leaving something like this on the screen. Back over to the switches, so we know the blower, the interior lights, which you can see there's a couple of them in here. Then you've got the bilge pump and your navigation lights. So the navigation switch, the one switch which says to the left, which is navigation light, will be the front and also the anchor light together. The middle is off, and to the right is the anchor light only, which is the white light that goes up on the bimini, and that is if you're anchored at night. So the middle is the off position, okay? As far as up here goes, we'll just go into this real quick. There's a little storage compartment here. This is lockable. The key goes into here to lock it. Plenty of ski storage or whatever else you may find that you could put away in here. Okay. And if you come back around, of course, there's plenty of other storage on this port side. There's your storage compartment here. There's your double action hinges, so make sure you stow the seat away properly. Don't leave it like that because it's just not very secure. Make sure you put it all the way in as such. This is a flip-flop seat, which is really comfortable, facing back if you're just cruising around, or facing up if you are moving under some speed. I would recommend facing the other way and having a better handhold. So back in here, we were in this compartment already. This was the battery switch and the fire extinguisher. In addition to that, as you'll notice there are 4 poles. The 2 dull-looking poles are for the canvas supports that go up underneath like tent poles, and the 2 shinier poles, the 2 stainless poles in the middle, are the ones that are designed that when the bimini is open, they attach to this point and to the mounting in front of the windshield. These are quick connect. It's very easy to do. Okay, but that has to be in that position when you're running the bimini, and it's running with the boat with the bimini open. Okay. Last but not least is the motor compartment. I like to always pop this open for a look. Not much you're going to have to do underneath here by yourself. However, it's nice to know where certain inspection points are. For example, this is your dipstick for your oil. Okay, this is the oil fill. Over here is what they call a gear lube bottle monitor. Okay, and here's your power steering. Okay, so these few things are pretty easy to get to right up front. Pretty simple things. Beyond that, I wouldn't reach back in here for anything else other than the 2 batteries are back in the port corner. Okay, so we're on the outside right now. Just a couple quick features. This particular boat has the optional fender clip. So what happens is this reaches in, locks in place. There's where you tie your fender. The boat has 4. 3 of them in the storage compartment, or actually say the cooler, which is up behind the driver's seat. Okay, these are great to have. I would set them once. Don't move them around if you can help it. But leave the 4 fenders attached to them. Every so often, I would spray these down with a little bit of silicone. In addition to the fitting inside. Also out here is your gas fill, which is very simple. You flip this up, grab a hold of it, turn it about 90 degrees or so, and off it comes. It is chain, attached with a cable, I should say. But please don't pull on it because you don't want to lose that overboard. So when you put it back in, of course, you do the same in return. You would line your red dots up and then make sure it was locked and close it down. Now, while we're also back here, I'm going to point out the swim step. So this is designed to be in a down position. If you want to get in and out while you're at a sandbar, dock, or whatever, motor has to be off, drive off, everything out, no engine light. So this is to release it, you flip it up, and this is the stowed position. Of course, to remove it, turn it back down, you do the same. Pull the pin out, and up and down we go. Okay? Back here is a ski tow eye. It's not designed to actually hold the rope around it like this. It's designed to loop around the ring and use that as a lock. Otherwise, this is not going to carry the load, and the rope has a potential of slipping off. Also, while we're back here, point out there's another access to the area, this storage area here from the back. Of course, it's also accessible from the inside the boat. One more last thing up top we overlooked is the rumble seat. So this comes out, and that can be used if you're just hanging out. Of course, engine off again, preferably anchored or docked. And if you just lift up on it, the plate that holds it up folds away, and down it goes. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to mention was the canvas. It's not on the boat, as you can see, but it's pretty self-explanatory. This particular boat has, again, 2 poles in it to hold one in the front section, one in the rear. You'll see a plastic vent, that's where the pole goes. The snaps pretty much line up fairly easily because when you come back to the windshield line, there's a space between the middle ones, and then of course you start from there and work back. Again, I should take that back, reverse a little bit. We start with the bow, come all the way to the middle, and then from the windshield back the second half. Last but not least, I always like to use the snap and zipper lube, which is something you want to put on, not on this end, but on the female end of the snap is always good to have. This way the snaps are a little bit easier to take on and off rather than fighting that after the boat sat for a couple of weeks if you didn't use it. For the most part, that's about it. Cleaning the boat, you need to use something very mild, no Dawn detergent, none of that kind of thing. McGuire's makes a real good boat wash that we use. You can use a car wash, mix it with some water. Soft bristle brush on most of the surfaces. The vinyl is very, very durable. You could use it on there too. And if you do wash it, it gets wet. You just make sure it's dry before you canvas it up. You don't want a greenhouse in there. And that's it. Enjoy your boat.